Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading for the week of July 5th. This week, we are just going to shuffle, and we are going to jump right in here, Scorpio, and see what is going on for you. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time, Scorpio. Also, make sure to only follow the social media accounts linked down below in the comments. It's a pinned comment. There are tons of scammers and spammers going on right now. So I will never, ever ask you for money. I will never do personal readings. So make sure that if someone is messaging you, asking for money or asking for anything else, that you report them, especially if they are claiming to be me. You start off with the Six of Pentacles here. You also end with the Six of Pentacles, and so I kind of like this. And not only that, you have two sixes right off the bat, Six of Pentacles to the Six of Wands. To me, this is a very good combination. I love two sixes. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I love two sixes because to me, two sixes says you're going in the right direction. And so I feel like you're kind of like just going in the right direction at this time with the Six of Pentacles. And I feel like it's almost like you're returning to the Six of Pentacles because this is kind of like your past position. Then you have the Tower, and then you have the Six of Pentacles again, and you've been getting the Tower a lot, Scorpio. I mean, it is you. I mean, the Tower is your card, right? So it could just be your energy, but, you know, I definitely feel that you're kind of returning to the Six of Pentacles. What the hell does that mean? What that means is that the Six of Pentacles represents putting in a certain amount of work and getting results. Also, justice. The Justice card is cause and effect. It says, if you do something, like, what do you get for that activity? Or what do you get for the energy that you put into something, right? So I kind of get the sense here that for a long time, you've been putting energy into things and probably not seeing results. I feel like I talked about this in your July reading as well. It's very simple. You know, it is July. This reading is for a week in July. So that would make perfect sense to me. But I do feel like for some of you, it's kind of like you've been hoping for equal results. You have the Six of Wands, the Justice card, and the Three of Wands. You know, Three of Wands can represent waiting for the perfect moment when there never will be a perfect moment. There is like an element of surrendering to something here. You have the Moth spirit. It says surrender now. That even the Tower is a choice because, you know, there's one person who's like, they can have their arms back normally on a tower. They're like they've been pushed out of the tower. The other person is diving headfirst out of the tower, right? It's almost like they're saying, you know what, I see that this ship is burning. I'm going to take a leap of faith. I'm going to jump out of the tower and hopefully I'll land in the water, right? So I feel for some of you, it's kind of like almost like you see that something is maybe not doing as well as you would like, and you have a choice. You can either kind of go back to the drawing board here. I kind of feel like you've already made this decision, and some of you I feel like are already in the process of rebuilding something, whether it's a business. For some of you, it could be your love life, where you're kind of saying, you know what I've been in, it's like I've put in all this energy, it's not working, so I'm going to kind of like go back to the drawing board. That's almost like the vibes that I get here for you, Scorpio, on this first row. For some of you, it could be moving, by the way. The Three of Wands, Tower of the World, I mean, that is just a move, plain and simple. So, and I always get moving for you, Scorpio, every single reading I do. So for some of you, this could just be a move. You have the King of Pentacles here. King of Pentacles is a card of things just always being the same. You know, King of Pentacles is a card of convention. It's a card of, so it can be, you know, it's not a bad card. I don't like the King of Pentacles personally, but it can be a card of being stuck. It can be a card of convention. You know, it's a card of the way things have always been done. There's no growth. It's always the same. So for some of you, that's what you're escaping. Yeah, you have the Sun. You know, I feel like the Sun, I almost feel like saying this is what would make you happy, right? Is the Justice card, meaning that if you put, again, if you put a certain amount of energy into a relationship, what would make you happy is to get the same amount back or more. I feel in business as well. It's like you are hoping that you can put a certain amount of energy in and get the same back. That's like what you're hoping for here. A lot of sixes. I like this. You know, sixes to me are karma. You know, especially when we get multiple sixes. This is a good thing because to me, it's like saying that the flow is returning. And you know what I just noticed is that there is like a figure 8 here on this Six of Pentacles. If you turn it sideways, it's infinity. So I feel for some of you, again, it's just going along with the theme that, you know, you are hoping to put energy in and get energy back. It's just that figure 8, right? That's what you're hoping for with this energy. So it's like you're hoping for improvements is really what I feel And I also feel like you're hoping to be able to give to situations and get a certain amount of energy back. You have this moth spirit. This says surrender now. We kind of get that energy here with the tower, of course. And you have this brown bear spirit that says take time out. After the tower is the star. So it makes perfect sense that you would be getting a card that would represent needing to rest, relax, recover, like all those other things as well. So that's what I would say here. You have the Empress, the Tower, and the Seven of Swords here. You do have like a lot of cards that would kind of represent perfection, you know, in a lot of ways. Three of Wands, and the Seven of Swords, believe it or not, can represent perfection. He is like stealing these 7 swords here from an army that's normally back here on a traditional 7 of swords. But he can't get all those swords. He only has 5 swords. It kind of represents the fact that things will never be perfect. There will always be things you have to overcome. There will always be challenges you have to overcome. And so it represents a lot of things. It represents the fact that on some decks, he's about to step into a trap that's on the ground. And it kind of says like he's focusing on the wrong thing, right? But it's also kind of like one of those cards that says things will never be perfect. 3 of Wands. There will never be a perfect moment for you to take action on something. So really, this is just saying the time is now, Scorpio. And I feel like you're, number one, I feel like you're hoping for a harvest. I do like that Empress. I do feel like it's talking about resources. So I do feel like either you're increasing your resources or your resources will be increasing. Yeah, it's like you've been very patient here, Scorpio. Empress again, I like that. Empress twice, you really can't beat that, right? And you have the 3 of Wands again. So, like I said, waiting for the perfect moment when there never will be a perfect moment. I always say that the Empress is tied to the tower. She has this, there's like this water down that's over here, and it's like a waterfall, and it kind of represents like chaotic force, right? You know, things that we cannot control, basically. And that's the 7 of Swords right there. So I feel for a lot of you, that's like there are certain things that cannot be controlled at this time, but you're just going to have to do what you can with what you got, is what this is saying. And there's still a lot of success that you can have. It's like, it reminds me of just like a lot of people. I've worked with a lot of business people in my day, and it reminds me of like there was always those people that were constantly worried about like what was going on in the news, what was going on with the president, with, you know, whatever, right? There were always those people. Those people were never as successful as the people who just didn't give 2 F's about anything, right? There were those people that would just say, you know what, I'm just going to focus on having the best damn business that I possibly could. Those people were super successful. It didn't matter if taxes were going up or going down. It didn't matter if, like, you know, it didn't matter if their favorite pizza place went out of business, right? None of that mattered. They just focus on like one thing. They had that hyper focus, right? And I feel like that's kind of like what this is saying, is it's like saying there's always going to be a bunch of BS going on, 7 of Swords, right? Everywhere in life. And this BS could affect your relationships. It could affect your businesses. It could affect whatever, right? But at the same time, it's like you can either like constantly worry about it, or you can just stay focused on what's right in front of you. And that's kind of like what I feel like this reading is really saying in a lot of ways. And I also feel part of the surrender here is about just like not caring about anything. You know, it's funny because I always get a ton of comments from people who always say, whenever I make those comments, they always say, well, you have to care about, you know, all the stuff going on in the news. Those people, it's like, listen, no, you don't. Plain and simple, right? My life got a lot easier when I stopped watching about the news. My life got a lot easier when I stopped caring about, you know, what people are saying, what they weren't saying, all this other stuff, right? And it's not that you're being blind to those things. It's just that you're focusing on what you can control, not on what you can't control. So in a lot of ways, that's what is going on here, Scorpio. And I feel like it'll lead to a harvest, right? It's like, yeah, there's the waterfall, the destruction in the background on this card, but she's focusing on the harvest that's right in front of her, right? She's focusing on what she can control. Next, you have the Smoke and Mirrors card. What do you know? It's like there's a bunch of things that are distractions that probably aren't true in the first place, right? It's like, do you think the news is true? I don't. I think the news is a bunch of made-up BS, basically. And, you know, no matter what you believe, right? Doesn't matter. So I feel like there are a lot of things that could be distracting you at this time. It doesn't have to be the news, by the way. It could be just things going on in your life. You know, we always have people, right? We all have that, like, one cousin that always has, like, a disaster. They always, you know, broke their leg. They have a problem with their shoulder, and they can't, you know, lift up their trash, take it outside. They need help. It's like sometimes we just can't help the helpless, right? And especially, it's not helping someone. And I do feel like there could be distractions like that for some of you. That's why I'm saying it. There could be some like helpless people in your life, but it's like helping them isn't really helping them in the first place. Yeah, you have the Three Cups. Like I said, someone in your community. Three Cups is a card of community. Really, I got the feeling off of this world because there's a lot of people on this world card in that world portal there. So I do feel for some of you, it's like you could have people in your life who are a distraction. But again, I feel like helping them isn't really helping them because it's like they're perfectly capable of helping themselves, but it's like they're just, used to being babied. I feel like some of you could have a person like that. For others, I feel like you just need to, like, again, focus on what's right in front of you with this card. You have the World, the Four of Swords, and the Six of Pentacles. It's like very strong, like, where can you receive your blessings is what this is saying to me here, Scorpio. For some of you, the thing that, it's like you could be making a sacrifice here. You could be surrendering and letting go of something with that Tower so that you can have more blessings in your life. There's normally a stained glass window right here on the Four of Swords, and there is a person that is receiving blessings in that stained glass window. And I feel like this card is kind of like saying, where can you receive your blessings? Where can you put your energy, and where you put it in and you get it back? I feel like you're kind of very focused on building those types of relationships, businesses, work relationships, health, pretty much everything. And that seems to be your main focus at this time. Pretty simple. It all boils down to that original Six of Pentacles. So let's see where this is going. Four of Wands, marriage. Some of you could be very attractive at this time. I would say that because you have the Empress twice, and there could be a person who's coming in for you in love. We'll look more into that in a minute. You have the Ace of Pentacles here, and the Knight of Cups with the Five of Pentacles here. Again, I feel like you could be fearing being left out in the cold. Again, Five of Pentacles says, do not call attention to your weaknesses. Basically, like I said, this whole entire reading is saying, focus on the good stuff. Don't focus on the bad stuff. Knight of Cups could be a knight in shining armor coming in for you here. In a lot of ways, what I would say here, Scorpio, is that Knight of Cups, Five of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, this combination, it's like looking for resources. Five of Pentacles says that maybe you don't have the resources to do something that you would like to do. And the Knight of Cups is hesitating. He's not crossing this river that's on this card. But the Six of Pentacles kind of says you do have the resources. Ace of Pentacles, an opportunity. Four of Wands is an opportunity to complete something. World is an accomplishment. And it's also a card of kind of completion. The Four of Wands is a card of freedom. So I feel that, and so is the Sun, by the way. It's like you're being set free. There's something you want to do, but it's like you don't have the resources, or you feel like you don't have the resources to do it. This could be financial resources, although you clearly have a ton of abundance coming in for you here. So it's like maybe if you want to move, maybe you're fearing that you don't have the money. If you want to get into a relationship, you're fearing that you don't have the money, maybe, or whatever. Let's see. You have the Ace of Swords, definitely a victory coming in for you. You have the Knight of Pentacles here, and the Two of Wands. Yeah, I feel like it's time to take a leap of faith. Two of Wands about taking the lead, and it is a card of leaving a comfort zone as well. For those of you who feel like you don't have the resources, Knight of Pentacles just says do what you can, right? It's like sometimes I feel like people think they need a bunch of money to start a business. The Knight of Pentacles says, well, maybe you don't have the money, but there are things you can do. So Knight of Pentacles says just get started doing what you can. I always tell people, it's like there's a million things you can do. It's like if you want to start a business where that requires a lot of startup capital, you could start a YouTube channel talking about the business you want to start, and that could be the thing. I always say the thing with the Knight of Pentacles is it's basically like he's going to accomplish his goal no matter what. He is the card of one foot in front of the other, basically. And not only that, the universe rewards us with the Knight of Pentacles if we take action. The universe is like, they're serious about this, they want it, so I'm gonna make sure that they get it. And that's kind of like what I'm getting there for you, Scorpio, is that you really need to take that one foot after another. Ace of Swords is a victory. Ace of Swords is also a sacrifice, which we definitely see in this reading. There's normally like a palm frond on one side of the Ace of Swords, and an olive branch on the other. The palm frond in tarot represents a sacrifice. So some of you are definitely making some sort of sacrifice here. Yeah, Page of Wands, new adventure. here, Scorpio. Tower, again, one foot in front of the other with the Tower and the High Priestess. Something, see, here's the thing. You have two cards of potential, Ace of Pentacles and the High Priestess. I feel like something has much better potential here, but the Tower, you know, twice like this could be you fearing letting something go. It's like if you have a business, maybe it's doing all right, right? Maybe it's making a little bit of money, but you probably have a better idea, is what the Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords says. And the Sun and the Empress twice. It's like you have, it's almost like you have something, like an idea that's extremely abundant, but it's like you're holding on to something that isn't. Now, this could be in love as well. You could be holding on to a relationship that just, where you're not receiving what you want, or you're not getting anything at all. And it's like this whole entire reading is saying there's a much better place for you to invest your energy, but you just have to do it. You just have to take the risk. Basically, it is a risk. 3 of Wands, 7 of Swords, the 2 of Wands is really telling me that there are fears or there is a risk involved in this sacrifice that you could be making here, Scorpio. But I feel like you'd be very happy if you did it. So don't be afraid to release something, is what this is saying. A really good reading is what I would say to you. You know, in a lot of ways. It is a little destructive, but I don't know. I feel like it's a good thing. So thank you for being here, Scorpio. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. Also, feel free to like and subscribe. Really appreciate the support. But thank you, Scorpio, and definitely enjoy your week.